everyone, Ivy Lee Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir, Silent Gods. For today's video, we have a big update post, an official global release date finally, and lots of updates to go along with that, so let's discuss. So for today's video, I'm going to go ahead and read through the developer letter. It's a bunch of Q&As and kind of addressing some things, talking about changes to global, new content. There's quite a lot of changes, honestly, and most of them are pretty great. And we're going to go through all of that together. At the end of the video, I'm also going to discuss anything that maybe they don't talk about that I really hope to see changed for global launch, or at least a little bit of issues addressed overall. I don't know. We'll see. We'll go through it first to make sure I don't miss anything. I briefly read through everything, but I could have missed some stuff, so there's a lot to unpack here. This might be a bit of a long video, but I'm going to try my best to read through fairly quickly and give a quick feedback as we go. But yeah, this is going to be more of a podcast chill style video, so put in your earbuds, walk away, whatever. I'm going to just read through it all, so listen and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This game is really beautiful. I really enjoyed it a lot through most of my play, and I'm really hopeful still. I think it's quite a nice game, and just depends on what you're looking for. And I do think this game could really be the answer for a lot of people that are maybe looking for something a little less time-consuming than Raid Shadow Legends, or maybe even Watcher of Realms, which I find to be pretty time-consuming as well. So definitely still keep it in mind. And yeah, we have global launch. So global launch is September 19th. That's officially announced now. I've already been saying that because that's what the Apple Store said, and you just kind of want to assume that might be the case because they're usually pretty accurate. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and put the developer notes on the screen from the Discord, and we're going to read through it all. But, oh, I do want to quickly note, sorry guys if I look a little sleepy. If you're like, are you okay, Ivy? You look tired. I am tired. I'm pregnant, so bear with me, guys. It's early for me for making content. I normally wait till I've been awake for quite a few hours. But this was good news. I wanted to get on it, and I wanted to post a video sooner rather than later. I have videos to make for Watcher of Realms today, too, so I gotta get working. And you know what? With the pregnancy situation, some days I just feel like crap, so I gotta take advantage of when I feel good as well. So let's get rolling and checking out the newest information for global launch of Dragonheir. Alright, let's get into it. Letter from the developer, preview of the global launch contents. To Adenthia's pioneering adventurers. Greetings one and all, as Dragonheir Season 0 draws to a close. We've been grateful for your company for over 2 months now, seeing so many adventurers enthusiastically enjoying the immersion of our vibrant world and rich stories in tandem, with highly strategic battles and versatile character lineups that have been a real pleasure for us here. So many players have spoken fondly of their experience of the story and urged us to release story updates. Rest assured this is only the beginning. Your adventures in Adenthia will brim with even more ambitious stories and even more engaging, diverse content. We have been working tirelessly to bring even more content that will simultaneously launch with the global launch on September 19th. Equally, we take player feedback and suggestions seriously. We aim to address any problems you encountered with our many improvements and adjustments in newly implemented global launch. For any questions you may have about this new version, hopefully the following will clarify everything. All right, so let's start. Map and story. Question 1. Will there be any new maps added to the global launch? So the answer, the brand new underground sandbox will be coming to the global launch soon. It will feature new challenges of both main quests and local quests, ensuring players will have plenty of playable content by mid-season. So that is a big thing. People kind of ran out of the story within a week or two if you played pretty heavily and kind of pushed to the limit that it allowed you to every day. So that's good to hear. So will the story be updated in the global launch? So to ensure players have a more immersive and rewarding experience, we have added a substantial amount of storyline to the Plains and Underground, including the new map at global launch. So I think for the most part, what we experienced in Season 0 is the main story that they're starting with, but there's going to be new additions and extra stuff to go along with it, and a continuation as well. So it might be kind of boring for some Season 0 players to have to go through it all again, but just fast click if you remember it and then catch up to the parts you didn't know. But honestly, there's a lot of really nice side story quest type stuff. They have some really heartwarming and really sweet storylines. And yeah, there's a lot of humor too. So I think they did a pretty good job with the story. All right, new content and adjustments. When will the population lizard folk be available in the player character customization? So at the moment the moment you've all been waiting for, adventurers, the new customizable lizard folk will be launched simultaneously with global launch, allowing you to pick this population for your newest playthrough. So the main character as a lizard folk will be one of the options. Will any new heroes be added at global launch? So over 60 new heroes will be added. Whew. Moreover, we will continue to update frequently in later seasons to ensure players will always have new builds to explore. So guys, this is just a be sensitive to content creators statement here. 60 new characters are going to be added at global launch. So if you're looking for those tier lists, well, nobody's going to know. Brand new characters at global launch that nobody has played yet. We're not going to know. So don't be like, where's the tier list? Where's the tier list? There shouldn't be any tier lists because we don't know anything about these characters yet and how they actually perform. So at best, guys, there might be some sort of tier lists that come out with people suggesting content from the characters that already exist, assuming they're not changed. But we're going to have a lot of work on our hands to analyze all of these new heroes, let alone all the heroes that I didn't even have time to look at last season. So it's going to be all of us learning together. All right, will elemental affinity in global be different than in the previous game version? How will it be changed? So seasons are a key feature in this game. Each season sees a rotation shift in elemental affinity and its rules, guaranteeing a different experience at gameplay stages. In Season 1, Fire and Poison, Radiance and Lightning, and Necrosis and Ice will be the new pairings. So this is great. This is the setup that it had before Global, or before CBT2, when it was like in between. It was like I think it was the CBT1 phase, and also the thing that I got to experience a more test server-like experience on before the closed beta came out. This is pretty good, honestly. Like, I'm actually quite excited for Fire and Poison as someone who has Flora and Tonalon and can now use Furboth to go with it. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. That sounds amazing. I'm actually quite excited for that. That's going to be really, really great. I know how I'm starting my seasons because we do get to carry over, which we're going to talk about later. So, all right. Some heroes don't have suitable artifacts, while some powerful artifacts cannot be assigned to multiple heroes at once. So artifacts, all right. We intended the artifact system to allow players to develop their heroes with greater flexibility and choose their favorite progression path. Therefore, we'll continue introducing a wider range of artifacts for you to choose from. After Global is launched, over 20 new artifacts will be introduced. We'll also introduce more ways to acquire artifacts, helping adventurers progress more quickly. I like that. The artifacts are huge. Like, once you start getting those added to your characters, it makes the progression so much faster. Plus, there's so many key ones, like there was no decreased defense in the game. I don't know if they're going to add that again, the defense penalty. They took that off all of the characters for CBT2. But there was 2 artifacts that allowed you to have a defense penalty as a debuff. So that made it extra special. So hope they do well with the others as well. All right, there's not enough rewards from quests and events, and some rewards cannot be obtained by the average player in a reasonable amount of time. So we hear your feedback, and Global Launch will be improving the reward content and reducing the acquisition threshold for some rewards, allowing players a smoother development path. So maybe they mean some of like the events like as well, because some of the events were just really hard to grind out that I can't imagine some people being able to. Hard training is funny because it's called hard training for a reason, I guess. If you're a crazy grinder, that's the only way you're going to be able to complete those. But it would be nice if they offer some more Heliolite dye early in the game just to have a little bit more excitement, because this is a gacha game at the end of the day. And if we can't gacha, what's the point, right? The summons should be the most exciting part, not the least exciting part. So they definitely have some work still in their summoning system. Maybe part of those rewards will be more summons. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. All right, when I encounter difficulties in the game, I often need to spend half the day working it out. Is there a better way to seek help? So once Global Launch is live, we'll launch a built-in AI Q&A wizard to answer all sorts of everyday questions in game, helping players jump into the game in no time. So they'll have a little bit of a reference tool. That's cool. Hopefully it's helpful. I mean, it is really nice if you want to look up something simple and actually get a proper answer within the game itself and not having to go crazy Googling or searching Discords. It's nice when some of the basics like reference tools can be in-game. All right, and then ironically, this is so not true, but there are too many heroes. Which heroes do you recommend for development early on? Who's the best choice for each different dungeon? There's not too many heroes, but okay. Having more heroes to choose from can make strategic team building more fun, but inevitably it increases the training costs for new players. To address this issue, we will be updating the lineup tips feature in Global Launch. Players will be able to rate each card and provide their own lineup recommendations for different dungeons. By promoting and communicating exchanges among players, everyone's understanding of the game will be improved. So I do like that there's this section when you go to the dungeons that actually suggests lineups. And there's even one where if you check a box, it doesn't show legendaries. So if you want to see teams that people are using right now in that moment to beat the highest stage of the dungeon without a single legendary, you can check that box and see if it's possible and hopefully it'll help you to like kind of work your teams. And of course you can just sub in legendaries you might have that are better versions of those epics or rares. But I do like that this game allows for really solid use of epics and rares. Legendaries just speed up the process like most gachas, but they're definitely not necessary for most content until it gets into the later game, and then you really need some diversity in your roster. All right, dungeons. Will there be any new XP dungeons besides the Goblin Lair? There will be a new XP dungeon in the Underground Sandbox, giving players the room to experiment with AoE lineups and development rate. The dungeon will feature a set number of monster waves, with rewards being granted according to the number of waves cleared. Adventurers that clear every wave will be able to attain all rewards. So that's actually pretty good because it takes a while to get to the final stages personally. I found the Goblin to be pretty hard actually. The Goblin stage 2, getting to the final stage before I could actually farm that took a while. But once you're there, you're kind of like, okay, this is the cap. All right, this is where we're farming. But if there's an even higher stage to get even better rewards, that's a nice challenge that I think people will welcome. I think people want it to be challenging. You don't want to be able to bring one lineup into every single dungeon and every single thing and just sweep the game. If you're lucky with legendaries, that's boring, right? And that's kind of what happened the first round. I think some things were a little bit too easy if you just wailed out and got all the legendaries, but I guess that's a whale's problem. Don't wail out so much if you want to complain about things being too easy. Use epics, use rares, play around. Don't do the obvious, right? Anyway, all right. So the dungeon reward items are limited, and some dungeons are not challenging enough in the late game. So personally, I never farmed any stage 9 dungeons because I didn't grind up enough gear to really get my people to where I could do it consistently. So I was a slacker in season 0, but I'll try to be better for season 1. So I did not find it to be too easy personally at all. I thought it was a good challenge, and I didn't even complete most of the stages, honestly, myself, the highest level. It was pretty hard, I thought. All right, in global launch, new content will be added to the Pillar of Trial and the Fey Meander, posing players with even more of a challenge. We will also add a host of new rewards, limited legendary artifacts, limited epic heroes, and a number of entirely exclusive rewards obtainable through purchases. Even more beneficial, this dungeon type will encourage players to experiment with and devise even better strategies for clearing dungeons. I'm curious about their exclusive rewards obtainable through purchases. I would really like to see a battle pass in this game. We love a battle pass. Give us a battle pass with some fun rewards at, level 5, 10, 15, 20, level 50, some cool reward that's a really unique artifact or a free hero. Something fun. I really love a battle pass, and I really hope that's something that this might be alluding to. It would be great to see a battle pass in this game. I like when there is spending options for low spenders that are worth buying, like not just the boring basics of buying Wurmaro. No one wants to just buy Wurmaro. We want to have fun packs and interesting offers that make it worth spending. I hope that they diversify their offers. Will there be any new dungeons designed for the game overall? Ooh. Besides the regular dungeons, the new season dungeon will be introduced with global launch. Players will be given advance notice before this dungeon opens. We recommend that players prepare even more lineups to face complex challenges that await. Season events will be launched mid-season, where you can acquire limited legendary heroes and artifacts. These rewards are exclusive to season dungeons and are not available through summons, purchase, or other means. Ooh. So someone was kind of talking in the chat, like maybe alluding to the special season event could be the collab. Keep in mind, we've had this Dungeons and Dragons collab teaser, unless that somehow fell through. But I'm assuming that's still the case. So maybe something special regarding that Dungeons and Dragons official collab could be part of it for this one season only. All right, the Alliance system has very few quests and events. Will you consider adding more related activities? So we would like the Alliance system to hold a greater role in the game, promoting a sense of community and belonging among players. Since the official global launch, the cap on Alliance members will be increased from the original 30 up to 50, and a new Alliance PvP mode will be added. The structure of Temporal Vortex will be revamped, and corresponding Alliance rankings will be introduced. The challenge mode difficulty selection will also be optimized, allowing players to have more freedom in choosing their preferred difficulty. This is amazing news and a really great improvement where they listened. One of the hardest, most frustrating points for me throughout Season 0 gameplay was trying to push Temporal Vortex. And then you'd finally get to that milestone to get the top chest, and then the next day it like increases difficulty on you and you're stuck with the new difficulty. And now you're back getting terrible rewards, and it puts you back, not forward, when you should be progressing forward. It's like, if you can't do the higher level and you want to do the lower level, let people do the lower level. So that is really good to hear. All right, PvP. Will PvP be available cross-server in the future? So we will enable cross-server PvP when appropriate, enriching the matchmaking experience for players. Availability is tied to a server's overall player progress, thereby avoiding excessive level disparities during cross-server matching. So I'm not quite sure what they mean. They'll add it when appropriate. Maybe that would be more of a live PvP setting. I don't know. We'll have to see what they do with that one. All right, resources are limited in the early game. It's too difficult to get up simultaneously train multiple lineups for PvP. All right, so this is pretty cool here. I love this. Ready? I'm just gonna kind of skip through the fluff. The level of all players' heroes will be synchronized to match the highest level hero they currently have. We believe that lower costs will help adventurers develop more powerful combinations. That's amazing. I mean, I'm glad, to be honest, I'm glad they're not doing that for the whole game, because then there's no, you grind up 5 characters and that's it, and you never have to level any others. Like, that's kind of boring. But the fact that for the sake of PvP, you can have one character to level 100, and then the rest of your other heroes you put in the lineup will be brought up to level 100 as well. Ooh. The only difference is, I think will be an issue, is you can't throw in a level 1 character, because then you're not going to have the gear slots open to gear those heroes to make them good enough. So I still think you're kind of going to want to be like in the bracket, you know, like if you want your heroes to really act like a level 100 hero, they're going to have to be ranked up past 5-star or whatever it is to get to level 9, past level 90, like to level 91. You can at least have people to 91 where they unlock the final slot for the runes, like the negative and positive runes. That way, at least you have a fully geared hero that is then brought to level 100, for example, right? Because if you just have a level 1 character, none of the rune slots will be open, the artifact slot will not be open, and you'll have half-assed gear on them. So that might not be ideal. So it's not like you can totally cheese it and just throw a bunch of level 1s that you pulled that you haven't built, but there's a balance at least where, yeah, you don't have to bring every single character to level 100 that you might want to use in arena only, for example. I like that. All right. Will there be any new PvP modes at Global? So PvP at the Global launch version will introduce tag combat. Each player acquires 3 lineups to compete. Why? No. This is literally the worst feature in every single game I've played. That is like we call a raid copy. This game is not a raid copy, I would say. It feels very different than Raid Shadow Legends, but as they're calling it, Tag Arena, copying Raid with the 3v3 lineup setup, other games have done it too, and every single time we're like, why? Literally, it's the worst type of PvP. It is not engaging. It is not fun. It's frustrating. It's time-consuming. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants 3v3 arena, Tag Arena. That is a big disappointment, and it's probably something I will just not do. I'll probably just skip that content, just being completely honest. I will not do it. If it's just I'm assuming it's going to be just arena coins. I doubt I will even do it, honestly. I mean, maybe I will because I have a Season 0 account that has a lot of heroes to use, a good roster that I can actually diversify and make a big lineup. But I can't imagine starting off and having enough lineups to even want to try to do that in the first place. It's really time-consuming to level up characters in this game, and I can't imagine having 3 teams ready before, like, at least mid-season or toward the end. It's just too much. I hope that's something they don't introduce until, like, midway through the season, because it's just going to be frustrating for people. All right, other updates. As well as the above, we've made changes and other improvements we'd like to share with our adventure. Payments. When the global launch debuts, the pass feature will also go live. This allows adventurers to obtain a lot of resources for free, as well as being able to pay to unlock more rare items. This ensures that every player will receive a regular flow of rewards. So there we go. Okay, a battle pass. It is coming. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to see with payments. I like having those monthly cards where you get daily gems, daily stamina, whatever. Those are great. But a battle pass, those are like the 2 things I would buy in every game. A monthly card and a battle pass. So really happy that they're adding that feature. All right, servers. To welcome new players to Adenthia, we are further enhancing our servers, increasing player capacity in each from 10,000 to 50,000 players. Ooh. Oh my gosh, ranking is going to be hard. Ooh, maybe I'm going to regret having a Season 0 account. I think, guys, I'm just going to say this ahead of time. It might be more beneficial not to start on day 1 of release, because that's when all the Krakens and crazy people that are ready to grind like a psycho are going to be starting. They're going to be starting the second the game is open. Boom, grind, 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 grind. And it's going to be hard to compete. So if you're not ready on September 19th to grind really hard, if you're someone who wants to be able to compete in any sort of rankings and ranking rewards for the season rewards, I'd honestly suggest waiting, maybe. like a few days or something. Wait till the weekend, wait till something else to where you start on a different server that's not the global day one launch server, I mean, because it's really hard to compete. I personally, so like, okay, I started on day one. I was never in the top of anything at all, not even remotely. And even when I first was grinding really, really hard, and then like I barely got the currency that transfers over for the season rewards. I barely got it. And then Odd One Gaming, my husband, who's also going to be covering this game, he was in like a few days late, like almost a week late starting server. And he was in like the top 10 of like the Guild Boss Vortex rankings, getting tons of those rewards every day. Like I got like 120 at best from the Vortex rewards every day from the blue little currency that transfers for season stuff. And he'd get like 2,000. I'm like, just because, you know, it's like, even though that was when he was behind my progress. So it's just really interesting to see like you could actually benefit from starting late if you don't start with all the crazy grinders and krakens. Not that there's not going to be krakens on every server, but it might actually be beneficial to not start day one if you're starting a new account. All right, art and graphics. Compared to closed beta 2, the art in global will be heavily iterated. Maps, monsters, loading pages, skills, and summoning effects will all be optimized further, while 4K resolution will be supported for PC. This is really great to hear, honestly. I think the game is already very beautiful. There's definitely some areas that could use some work, like the campground still has some edginess to it that's not perfect. There's still stuff like, and I guess even the open world is mostly pretty, but there's some parts that I would say are cheesy. But for the most part, it's beautiful, and the character designs themselves are beautiful. So I'm really happy and curious to see what's going to be changed, because it's already a gorgeous game. And look, as we are reading this, I got another update. Oh, just the official, the official launch picture. Yes, let's go. Okay. Okay, so now we have the season reset, off-season, and server merge information. So seasons in Adenthia will run 12 to 14-week cycles. At the end of a season, adventurers are rewarded according to their performance that season. After a brief pause, progress into the new season. In accordance with the season reset guidance in-game, player data from Season 0 will be fully reserved and partially reserved or completely cleared during Season 1, depending on the classification as per the following. So, fully reserved. Everything, if you played on Season 0, this is what you keep 100%. All avatars and avatar frames, Wormaro, dragon crystals, summoning die, skill scrolls, and unexpired monthly cards. Also, the pure sand cores, which is that season reward currency for the shop. And then note, at the start of a new season, Echo of Clepsydra acquired in the previous season will be automatically converted to pure sand cores at a ratio of 100 to 1. And that's what I was talking about. By starting on day 1, I kind of screwed myself of getting Echo Clepsydra because ranking was impossible with all of the crazy people that started day 1 as well. And I'm just not that as crazy of a grinder myself or a massive spender to keep up. But that's where you'll benefit by getting this currency if you start a little bit late, honestly. All right, so partially reserved content. Heroes, skill levels, and inspiration levels will be reserved. But the hero levels will be reset to level 1. So this is the fun of it, and I think this is why, the more I think about it, I think this is why summoning rates are low. Like, or I should say why we don't get a ton of Heliolite die. Is because every season, as you progress, you're going to be having every single character on your account. So it might be a little bit slow of a first season, but then for the second season, like for me, season 1, I have every character I pulled last season. I get to start with Flora. I get to start with Tunnelnon and that whole wild team. That's going to be fun and exciting. I have really good heroes that are legendaries that I didn't even play yet that I could start with next season. So once you start rolling season to season to season, you're gonna have plenty of heroes to choose from. You're gonna have every epic in the game at some point, right? So maybe it's not so bad that it's a little bit of a slower grind to get heroes, because every season is gonna be reserving and holding on to every hero. The skill levels will be left on your... if you scrolled up a character, the scrolls stay on the character. This is clear here. Just saying. And same thing with inspiration. If you inspired a legendary with a duplicate, that will stay. The only thing that will be reset is the hero level to 1. All right, artifacts will be reserved, but the artifact level is reset to 1. A certain percentage of essence of creation obtained through hero summoning will be reserved. Additionally, players will be rewarded with extra essence of creation in the new season according to their in-game progress. So essence of creation is the resource to upgrade your artifacts. So they will be reset to 0 or 1, but you'll be able to get some resource to upgrade them as well. And if you're smart, you probably hold... if you did season 0 and you're rolling into season 1 with your same account like I will be, you will hold on to your die. And when you do those summons, all the duplicates you pull are going to be more essence of creation to level up those artifacts even faster. All right, and then also partially reserved is unlocked arcane spells and attribute points acquired by... so interesting. So acquired by the player character will be reserved and can be reallocated at the start of a new season. Unlocked arcane spells and attribute points. So, okay, I thought we'd start from 0 with the character attribute points. Interesting. All right, anyway, let's continue. Okay, the affinity levels are going to be reset, though. That's kind of what I expected. So fully cleared elemental affinity levels will be reset in tandem with the elemental, and then they'll go with the rules. Wait, what? Elemental affinity levels will be completely reset in tandem with the rotation of elemental affinity rules in the new season. Elemental affinity, they kind of combined some of their words. I think the growth of your main character's chart there, the affinity chart, that I expected to be reset, so it sounds like that will be. And then mist will regenerate the map. So the map will become hidden again, and you need to re-explore the map. All right, about this off-season, the game is currently in its final stages of global launch for September 19th preparation. After Season 0 ends, August 22nd, it already ended for Server 1, we will have a relatively long off-season to ensure all players, new and old, are synchronized for Season 1 progress during the global launch. No new content or events will be available during this period, but players can continue to play. So this is something that, if you haven't finished your Feywilds, your Pillar of Trial, you can still grind out those to get all of those resources to help you start off strong for Season 1. So that's what I will probably be doing. I think I have a stream or 2 coming up. We'll see for probably, I think after the 1st of September, I should be doing a Dragonheir stream. And I will probably live stream my push through Feywild, and we'll see what happens there with the Pillar of Trials as well. I never really pushed those, so I figured I might as well do that on a stream at some point. That's the plan, at least. All right, and about server merge. Since the official global launch, we will increase the player capacity of our new servers even further. Servers involved in Season 0 will be unified in a merge. Detailed merge rules will be announced later, so please be patient and wait for the news. So again, that doesn't mean we're literally all being merged into one server. It could if there's that much inactivity, or depending on the space, but I don't think it's going to be. I think we're going to be in groupings of servers, so you're not necessarily going to be the day 1 people and the day 14 people are not necessarily going to be in the same server from Season 0. But yeah, if you're going to be playing this game live at Global, the people that played during beta, like me, that did Season 0 will not be affecting you in any way. We will have much more loaded accounts because we get to keep all our heroes, but that's the point. You played the beta, so... And for me, as a content creator, that will allow me to have a little bit more fun and diversify my rosters to be able to grind faster and better so I can build more heroes and actually make relatable videos besides just blasting everything with Flora, which, sorry not sorry, I do plan to do. All right, thank you all for showing Dragonheir your interest and support. Our game release is September 19th, which will be available on multiple platforms, including mobile and PC, with cross-platform data exchange and support for 13 languages. So, yeah, the thing is here, guys. It is here. It is here. It's coming, I should say. It is coming. And with that in mind, I mean, oops, did I just cut that picture off awkwardly? Yeah, I did. So there's definitely some things they did not talk about, which I just want to address fairly quickly. I don't want to dwell on the same things we've already talked about that are issues in this game. But the things that they did not talk about that I think are necessary to change to make players happy, or they're going to have the same result that they had at beta. Number one, the summoning events. So obviously, in a perfect world, we want to see the summoning rates be better, like Starlight Die at a 0.5% chance to summon a legendary, a 1% chance to summon a legendary, anything, something, give us that. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I feel like if that was, they would have announced it because people would have been very happy. But the fact that they didn't announce that in this update for Q&As, there's no mention of summoning at all. So I don't think they're changing it. I really don't. I feel like if they were, why wouldn't they tell us? That'd be the most exciting news. People would be very happy. But if they're not going to change the rates, they need to at least change their events. The events were terrible. Absolute Kraken. Even the Krakens didn't want to do them type events. Now I'm talking about the very first event when you come in, and there's only 30 days to get a guaranteed extra bonus legendary hero when you summon 80 times. I purchased stuff. I purchased a pack and I purchased the monthly pass, and I still couldn't do that. And that's not good. Like, you should be able to obtain those those special things. If you just saved and grinded, that should be fine. Now, I just really hope that they lower that. I like the idea of the guaranteed hero to get a bonus extra hero early on in the game. If they want to keep it 1 month, make it within 10 summons, not 80. 80 is ridiculous. And if they are going to keep it 80, take off the time. Don't make it be within 1 month. Let it be out throughout the whole season. So as soon as people hit that marker, they can at least know they're getting a bonus legendary. Give some excitement. So that's the one thing this game is really lacking, is excitement around summoning. I really think it could kill the game. It could make or break it, you know? It's one of those situations because this is a gacha game. It's all about the gacha summons. And the summoning experience needs to feel generous and fun, exciting, rewarding. It needs to feel like if you grind, you can be rewarded well. And of course, there's RNG at the end of the day. But there needs to be there needs to be stuff to summon in the first place, which they definitely don't quite provide. At least they didn't. It was definitely lacking. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think they're changing the rates, though. I really don't, guys. So that's unfortunate to hear. They're crazy if they didn't announce that they were, because that's like the #1 request. But hopefully they will put out better events. Now, not only that like 80 guaranteed event thing, I hope they change all of those other weird events where it's like, put in your wish list heroes, and then after you summon 5 legendaries, you can get one of those wish list heroes. Like, it was just ridiculous. Like, the pity is 30 to begin with. And also, we found the pity from the banners did not change. Like, the pity #1 needs to carry over no matter what. Heliolite Die, no matter what banner you're pulling on, pity is pity. Like, you shouldn't lose your pity of a guaranteed legendary at 30 just because you swapped the banner. If you're pulling Heliolite Die, you're pulling Heliolite Die. So I really hope they fix that to where that's a universal pity for Heliolite Die. People were really upset that they pulled on those super whale banners for the wish list and didn't hit a pity, and they know they pulled over 30 summons, but it was because the pity didn't transfer. So I really hope that they change the way that those are structured. And I hope they just give better events. If you're going to do wishlist events, don't even do that. Just do a banner. Rate up for these 5 heroes. Good enough. That's it. Simple as that. Rate up. That's it. Just do that. Then people can wait for the banner with the heroes that they want to summon for. Super simple. The other thing I really hope they change is multi-battles, auto battles. So this game does have a feature where there's auto battles, but they literally don't give us them. I've never played a game that includes an auto battle, a multi-battle, where you can like be like, okay, do 10 runs, go. And that don't give it to you daily. Like, where are our multi-battles? You get a few in events here and there. I think that's where they came from. I don't even know. I barely had them. I really hope that they would consider giving us like 10 multi-battles a day. That's it. I'm not even asking for a lot, like 10. That's something that I really, really hope they change, because that's... What's the point of an auto battle if we literally can't even get the auto battles? You can't even buy them. You can't even buy them in a shop. There's nothing you can buy with Wormaro. There's no way to use the auto battle feature. And I was so desperate. I actually wanted to start grinding out some gear so I could make some better teams for some upcoming content that I might be doing with Dragonheir partnering. But I set up freemouseclicker.com to just click. Just click. That's it. Click one, and it wouldn't even work with their PC clients. So that was not nice to see. So I don't know. I really hope the auto battles get improved and the summoning events get better. But honestly, other than that, I know some people don't like the time gating. I personally like it, actually. Especially if they're going to be adding more content. It's fine. But that's my personal preference. I think Dragonheir is a chill side game that is not meant to be consumed with like a 12-hour grind every day. It's meant to log into for an hour or two at the most, do your stuff and log out. It's not meant to be a super high consumption game. And they're a small studio at the end of the day. I don't think they can't physically provide that kind of necessary content. But the good thing is we now know what to expect. We know what otherworld exploration is. Toward the end of the oh, that's another change that they should do. Otherworld exploration needs to happen 2 to 3 weeks sooner, if not a whole month sooner. Let us do all of that crazy fun stuff earlier so people aren't sitting around bored. That's a big part of it too. Although they did add new content, but still, I doubt that that's going to pull high enough. But there's so much of otherworld exploration was actually answering our requests from that fireside chat. Like, give us world bosses that pop up in different locations every hour that we can do and keep an eye out for and have fun with trying to do each world boss. They did that with otherworld exploration. And when it comes to the final dragon of the season, the big battle, the copper dragon, that requires 30 built heroes if you want to maximize doing 6 teams. So now that we know we have something to work for, and you're going to want to build up 30 heroes fully built on your roster, on your account, and have different team synergies, now we know. We can prepare better, and there won't be a, well, what do we do now? Be like, you prepare for otherworld exploration. You prepare for the Copper Dragon. That's what you do. But we didn't really know that for Season 0, so hopefully people will have a little bit more fun with Season 1 now that we know what to expect. But I'll try to have videos about that in the future. This was a long one, guys. Lots of information. I'm happy to hear some of the changes, even something as simple as them adding a battle pass. I know that's silly, but I love it. Constantly improving their art and graphics is wonderful to hear because this game is already beautiful. Becomes more beautiful. That's great as well. New content and underground map. That sounds fun. There's still a lot of issues like alliances not being able to be cross-server is a bummer. But I don't know. No game is ever perfect, and no game is ever going to make everybody happy. But we'll see how it goes at Global. I'm just happy that we finally have the official global release date. But thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me. Stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.